Why franchise? That's a brilliant question. Hi there, I'm Julie Turner,
And I'm Kip Brooks.
and we are actually going to introduce ourselves a little bit more formally than usual today. But we are also going to, hopefully, fingers crossed, have our team member also joining us today. So that's exciting for us. And what is happening?
I think
What
Kelly's here. We just need to let her
Okay, let's see how
interrupt.
all good things. We're going to admit Kelly to our little room. We like to do things completely
Set
off
on
the cuff and
backwards.
inside out and backwards as well. That's always fun for us. So we are going to do that as well. Hello, Kelly.
Oh,
We're super excited, and we're extra excited because now you can tell us if this microphone's working.
yeah, I can hear you clear.
Okay, you guys who are watching out there on Facebook, those of you that know me well, my baby has arrived. So it's very exciting. It's an exciting day. You can celebrate if you like. We are going to. So happy. So happy to have my microphone with me. Anyway, now it's lighting. Lighting's next. However, irrelevant, not what we're talking about today. What we're talking about today is why you should franchise. And as I mentioned, before we get too into things, we together, all three of us and growing, are Paragon Franchise Consulting. And because this is the first time that we've had Kelly with us
On a live.
on a live, yes, she's been with us. We're going to introduce ourselves a little bit more. And I think just because that's fun for me, we're going to let Kelly introduce herself first.
Sure. Hi, everyone. I'm Kelly Langford. I've joined the Paragon Consulting team, and I'm very excited. I'm coming from just outside of Edmonton, Canada, and it's where I'm from, born and raised. Franchising's been my background for the last over 20 years, all in the fitness and wellness industry. I've owned multiple franchises, and I'm excited and looking forward to be able to take that knowledge, experience, and insight combined with Julie and Kip's and learning and growing and helping others navigate the waters of looking into franchise, finding the right franchise for them, building, growing their franchises, and kind of helping people achieve their dreams on a bigger scale than I could just owning my own franchise. So I'm excited with all the opportunities and possibilities and connecting with everybody and learning.
And we are so excited to have you, Kelly. Thank you so much for joining us here today and for joining us in general. As you guys can tell, like why would you not love her? So if you want to reach out to Kelly, if you're like, you know what, she's owned multiple franchises and maybe she's got some things to teach me, how do they reach you, Kelly?
They can go online on the website, paragonconsulting.com, I believe, or they can email me, Kelly at paragonfranchiseconsulting.com, and information, or I'll respond there, send my cell phone number, text, call, email, any of the above.
And on Facebook Live, we will have that information underneath as well. We are going to put this video, ideally, once I figure that out, onto our website. So that'll be fun for me. All right, Kip. Some of you already know Kip quite well. For those of you that don't, this is Kip Brooks. Tell us about you, Kip.
That's my favorite subject. We'd like to know. I'm Kip Brooks. Vast background that brought me here from, I've worked in everything from restaurants to gas stations to automotive sales, body shop management, everything in between. And I was in catastrophe management as a consultant and technician even for close to 18 years. And the favorite part of the journey was taking all that together and creating a life coaching and business coaching practice for quite a few years, all based around human potential, human behavior. And then longtime friend, colleague, and all the things reached out to me. We were both looking to evolve and go into the next transformation of life. And that's when she brought franchise consulting to me. We're actually looking into franchises. And with my past growing up in a family that lived in small business, my dad literally lived and died in small business. realized that all the struggles I saw my family go through for the first quarter century of my life would have been solved. They had all the pieces except for the systems and things, and franchising would have fixed it. So all the struggles I saw my mom go through before and after my dad's passing, would have been a lot less sleepless nights in our home. And this just fit, and it's been a blast. And it's just getting more fun and more crazy. And it just fits everything that's important, from helping others live their dream, build a legacy, create our own, as well as building a community, the team that we work with, as well as the franchisees we work with, and impacting the communities that we help grow in. Anything else?
And that's Kip Brooks in a nutshell. It's really not. There's so much more to say, and there's so much more to say about Kelly. I should have introduced them both, although Kelly, very relevant information to today, as well as Kip, because that's really what drove us here. In the very micro world, it was because I was looking for something to help me move to the States. So I was looking at franchises because, of course, why reinvent the wheel? Let's go to a franchise there. It's up and running really quickly, sort of, but we'll get into that. And so I thought, well, that's a great idea. And then with my background being a small business for way more years than I'd like to admit to being alive, I almost went into a story. I'll try and stay out of stories today, guys. I'm so sorry. And then going, oh my goodness, this franchise consulting actually kind of marries it all. It's our own business, but we've got an umbrella company that supports us, just like with franchise, and we can continue to coach and help people live their dreams, as both of these two have mentioned, and you will see on the website if you go there. So yeah, a lifelong entrepreneur. My family was entrepreneurs as well, and we're just super excited to get started, and super excited to help you guys get started as well. We are purchasing franchises and all that kind of fun stuff along the way, because how can you not? Poor Kelly, she's like just getting out of a franchise and going, I really want another one now. So anyways, without further ado, today's topic is absolutely about why you might want to franchise, with the full understanding that franchise, just like anything else in this world, is not for everyone. If you are watching right now and you're like, I would love more information, please just go either comment under this video, or if you're already on our website, just go to the contact and message us. If you're watching this and you're like, not for me, but my brother-in-law has been talking about something, great. Please reach out to us or send this video on the way to him. Another option is, I might not want a business. I actually have this career over here that I love, but I'm looking for something to invest in. That might be a really good opportunity for you as well, because you don't have to be owner operator. You don't have to be, as they love to say in this industry, Chuck in a truck. What's it, Dan in a van? I love those. I want to be Chuck in a truck in a few different industries, and I know I shouldn't be. Anyway, reach out if you fall into any of those categories, or you just are interested. Now, Kelly is here not only because she's our newest team member and we're excited to have her, but because of her wealth of information on the topic as well. So we want to ask a couple questions of you, Kelly, if we may. And then we're going to I can sort of see the Facebook feed. If we get any questions, great. And I have many more questions as well. And I'm sure Kip does too. So Kelly, what first got you into franchise? Like, what was the light bulb moment for you where you thought this is a good idea?
Actually, it's funny because that was almost 25 years ago now. I graduated from university with kinesiology and a phys ed degree. And just finishing university, I knew that I just wanted to open my own gym. Like that was it. I didn't want to go work in a gym. I didn't want, I was personal training at the time and coaching and training, athletes. And I loved that, but I had this vision of this gym and owning my own gym and having people, this community inside and culture where people were meeting. And because I've been to gyms, and I've been going to gyms pretty much my whole life. And, it just seemed like often a lot of people are intimidated. I used to be intimidated, and I saw other people were. So I had this vision for this gym, right, where everybody felt comfortable and it was fun and everybody got to know each other, everybody's friends and whatnot. So I actually just remember graduating from university, and Super fortunate that my dad is always had an entrepreneurial mind and was always very supportive of, any ideas or whatever. I remember calling him and saying, like, I want to own a gym. Like, this is what I want to do. And he's like, okay, well, write up a business plan, see where this takes us. I'll help you how I can. But then my mom actually joined the Curves for Women franchise, had just started franchise, this was early 2000s, and just come to Canada. And she joined one in her town. And she was just kind of like, and she wanted me to come. She's like, just come check out this workout, make sure it's the right workout for me, like maybe meet the owner and just make sure like this is a good thing for me. So I went with her and I was kind of like, okay. Loved the workout, actually had a blast, and it had that community feel. The women in there were having fun, everybody's chit-chatting, the staff were there. I met the owner and we started talking, and she was kind of like, well, if you want to own a gym, like, do you know how to run a business? I was like, well, no, I know how to train people, like I have a phys ed degree. And so just talking with her, and then again talking with my parents and researching, it was like, well, yeah, like what do I know, like to get a massive loan from the bank and to have to start from scratch. Like, I don't know how to do all that. I don't know that. Looked into and it just made sense to me. Here's your scripts. Here's how to do a build out. Here's your marketing plan. We train you, we train your staff. We give you the ongoing training every 6 months. We had somebody come in and help us. We had sales scripts. They taught me how to know the numbers, my KPIs. Cause again, I had a phys ed degree. That wasn't something we were taught. So yeah, that was for me, it was just a no-brainer. The systems were there and I still was able to do the part of it that I loved. Like I said, the training the staff, the having fun, developing, getting results from my members, but also learning how to grow a business because I had never been taught that, and learning financing, learning numbers. So yeah, that was my start.
I love that. Thank you so much for sharing that story, because really I started my own business when I was quite young, and I know Kip has had his own businesses as well. And we didn't get that insight. We wish we had. When looking back, I was a hairstylist, and I'm like, I make more money when I do this off hours than when I do it in the salon. So I should just have a salon. I should just start a business. Like, that makes sense. And my dad, who was always an entrepreneur, is like, of course that makes sense. Off you go now. He didn't say, hey, let's do a business plan. Hey, no, he said, off you go now. So I did. And I hated so many pieces of it. Like, I didn't want to do the accounting. There's a box sitting very close to us right now because that's not our area of expertise. We have people for that. So if I had had that insight, I feel like I would have been able to scale and grow a lot quicker. And you did, right? Like, you didn't stay, I'm trying to think of what Kim in a gym. Sorry, I have fun with me.
Because if I ended up owning 3 of the Curves,
right?
Because it was replicable. Everything was in play, which again I would not have been able to do on my own. And I know that I'm fortunate that because it saved me a lot of time, probably a lot of money, a lot of stress, a lot of heartache, not having to try and do it on my own.
Right.
That way, that I was so fortunate and grateful that I kind of fell into the franchise right off the hop. But yeah, there's no way I would have been able to open 3 locations.
Right.
I was doing it on my own, not knowing any of that. So yes, very fortunate.
And you don't have to want that. For those of you that are watching are like, I don't want 3 of anything. That's okay. You don't have to. It's just that you have that option if you're in a franchise. Whereas that is a lot of work on so many levels to open multiple businesses. You have to have so many things in mind or in place. So Kip, this might be a great opportunity actually to describe why there's royalties. Like, what do the royalties actually take care of in a franchise that maybe you wouldn't have that alternative in a business?
Yeah, well, it pays for a lot of that, right? A lot of the behind the scenes staff that you don't even realize franchises have. Like, people, sure, there were plenty of people on the Curves team that you never even met, Kelly, that helped you, and plenty of other franchises. And that's what a lot of the royalties go to. There's marketing that's being done. But there's so much research and analysis behind the scenes, and constant development of new trainings.
That's the thing that's interesting.
New keeping up with times, right? Whether it's technology advancements or whatever, or things to make in a gym, things to make the workout program more efficient and better for the client, customer, all of that. So many things those royalties go to. And when you actually start laying it out and doing the calculations, more times than not, you're getting a team of, like, they would cost you 20 times the amount.
Right. Each employee that would do that one, and you'd have to actually get a good employee as opposed to people that are already vetted, people that are already doing this for so many others.
Yeah, like one of our branding partners, the marketing team alone is 67 employees, and that's covered in a small fraction of the royalty fees, along with there's 50 other people in this other department, and all they do all day long is for like 2 or 3 of those brands just sit there and work and figure out, okay, let's try this. This looks like it's going to work, and they test it out, and they've worked out so many of those kinks behind the scenes before it's ever brought to the franchisees, and it's amazing.
So I would like us to be transparent, of course. So I'm going to ask you a question, Kelly, but I'm going to preface it with what we do, the three of us, is we help you understand what is the best possible match for you, because each company, each franchisor has their own values, has their own mandates, has their own rules that might not match up with you. So for example, if you decided you wanted to own a gym and you wanted to be Kim in a gym for the rest of time, there are certain companies that will really foster that. They want you to do that. Whereas another company is going to be saying, no, we want you to scale. This is the 3-year plan. This is a 5-year plan. And that might not match up with your values. So that's our job, to make sure that you're with the right company. Now, having said that, I would love to ask you, Kelly, what is your favorite thing? Like, what are you so glad you franchised for? And what do you like, I wish that didn't need to happen. What are your favorite and your least favorite things about
and
franchise?
You don't have to name any names.
Yeah.
At all. Yeah.
So start with your least favorite. Least favorite thing about like in the franchise world, or in what you experienced anyways, not necessarily the franchise world at large.
That's a good question, but it's funny because I feel like it's almost the same answer for both questions.
Okay, perfect.
I think probably the one thing is it's a brand, and can be multiple hundreds, thousands of other locations. So I guess I've just had certain situations where sometimes you're kind of connected, or you're involved with people that maybe don't have the same values as you. They're aligned, they're on a different path than you, which is absolutely fine. But sometimes it can kind of pull you, or you start to, if there's some negativity going on, or maybe there's certain business they aren't happy with because it doesn't align with their vision, then it kind of can cause some friction and some issues amongst everybody, because then everything else kind of jumps on it or starts getting more negative versus focusing on what they're doing, what they need to do inside their business. So it can affect the brand as a whole. Again, but that comes down in the leadership of the franchise. If they're good at what they do and they're great, good reputable franchise, they deal with that. I mean, they're trained for that. They have to deal with that. But I think that's probably the one probably biggest drawback I've ever found, is just that sometimes, you're connected with people you wouldn't otherwise. You have to learn how to that people skills, you need, and just kind of leave what you don't.
Yeah, absolutely. Not take it personally, not take it with you, and realize that. Yeah, absolutely. So I can totally see how that could be your least and most favorite. I could, like, as soon as you start saying, like, oh yeah, that makes total sense, because wherever there are humans involved. What were you going to say, Kip?
Well, no, too, that's enter in why people like us exist as well, right? Because we can help circumvent or navigate those waters some for people, and prevent it in a lot of ways, especially the ones where there's a big difference in values or whatever. Or, some of the companies we've learned about, Kelly probably knows even more of them than we do. They'll have the values, but they're very flexible in those. Instead of holding them at the core front, like, some of the groups we've really gotten connected with, everything is based around, like, the values are all over the walls, and everybody basically almost recites them like the Pledge of Allegiance, like we did in elementary school to start the day. It's and that's a great assistant in lining up someone with matchmaking someone with the correct company. It's like, okay, they have these values and they live them. The whole company is built on them. If they fall off of them, then the whole system collapses. So everyone holds them up. And to be able to hold them up like that and live them, you have to do just that and live them. You have to at least be passionate about them and connected to them.
So I think where Kelly was going a little bit more, at least the energy that I was feeling, and I just want to reiterate it, just in case other people have that thought or that worry out there, is, for example, you know, in her town, she ran her gym this way and everybody loved it and everything was good. And then in the gym in the town, the next town over, that wasn't the energy, that wasn't the vibe. So you kind of get painted with the same brush sometimes. Oh, that's the way that gym is run. You know, somebody leaves that gym in the second town because they don't like the way it's run, and now you don't get a chance because you're the same as them. Whereas it can be the reverse too. If somebody's moving to your town from a place where they're like, I am so in, I'm going there. I'm not even looking around because I know that I love that place. And it's not you at all. You're like, okay, well, I'll take that good credit, that, you know, like, why not? Right. So there is that as well. But as far as working with the company, what Kip's saying is 100%. That's our job, is to make sure that if we know what the values are of the company and we have a conversation with you, and we're like, it's not going to work out well. We can absolutely guide that. So that's an awesome.
I think is what drew me to like you guys when I connected to following you guys just to learn more, and then what called me to, you know, being a part of this and helping other people as well, because I can see, like, I wish 20 years ago I had known, you know, a Kip or Julie, you know what I mean? Like,
right.
That helped me navigate that. And even when I think of over the 20 years, all of the people in all franchises, not even, you know, the ones I'm involved with, but just other franchisees that I've got to know, I think, man, they would have benefited so much had they had somebody, probably maybe not have chosen the franchise they did, or things would have been different for them. They would have been, you know, just some things would have been changed. So it's just, I can see over the years, like, how there's, you know, so many people would have benefited from this role, which is amazing.
And I know people that are in franchises now, you know, that have been there for 10, 20 years, whatever the case may be, they've renewed. And they're like, oh, it's so frustrating. I can't stand dealing with the head office because of this, but they like the product or their own company or whatever. And that shouldn't be. You should love dealing with head office. You should think of them as part of your personal team, and that's what we want to get people to, is, again, matchmaking the right people with the right franchisor, so everybody wins. Win, 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 win.
Yeah, that keeps the brand growing, and that attracts having that brand, that strength there, that foundation. Not only internally does it create that awesome community vibe, but also it attracts the customers that you actually enjoy working with as well. And, you know, there's always going to be outliers in anything, but yeah, top to bottom, start to finish, it really having that alignment between everybody just attracts the right customers and just makes the whole day so much more enjoyable all the way around.
So that what you mentioned just a minute ago, Kelly, is probably a good next question. If there is somebody out there right now and they're like, I've already done my homework, I don't need help from these people. First of all, please always remember that our service is complimentary to you. We do not get paid by you. We will never request anyone. And if
like
somebody is right, yeah, we're like Robin Hood. We just take from others and give to you. But
with their permission.
No permission needed.
They actually want to. They actually love paying us.
We're like Robin Hood legally, I guess. So don't hesitate to reach out to any one of us, because we can support you, and even if we just answer a few questions and you're on your way. But back to Kelly, what could you say to them, just from your experience and your expertise, that we can support them with, that you had no idea, if that makes sense?
Oh, there's a lot, actually. Just in terms of, again, like you said, matching people with the right values, and company, what their vision of their future is, you know, how long they want to be for. Do they want to be owner operated? Do they want to be hands off? Do they kind of want to be a little bit of both? Do they want to own multiple locations? You know, is it a short term? Is it a long term? You know, there's so many things that I didn't take into consideration. I just yeah, I want to own a gym. This looks like a fun one. I'm going to do that. I had no idea. In hindsight, looking back, like I said, I'm super fortunate that it worked out as amazing as it did for me, but that's not always the case. But there are so many things that I never thought of. I think all those things that we talked about, even your investment, how much do you want to make, like all that kind of stuff as well, that comes into play. That a lot of people, if you go right to the franchisor themselves, of course, they're going to sell you on their franchise. Versus having somebody say, okay, this is, we take all that information and then here's your options, let's go from there. And then you can kind of, what's your gut feel, what feels right, what is the right fit for you versus, like I said, if you talk to one company, they're going to sell you on their company, of course. Job is. So I feel like that is what's such a big benefit, even for somebody that thinks, no, I already know what I want. Like we've had conversations. Sometimes people think they know what they want, but once you go through all that stuff, it's actually a completely different franchise that actually suits them better, that fits their goals and is more aligned to them than what they originally thought. Like we've talked about, some people, they love going to the gym, so they think, well, I want to own a gym, but it actually doesn't, the business model doesn't fit their lifestyle, but yet another type of business does. That way they can still keep enjoying just going to the gym and not being stressed about it as a business, and own another business on the side that actually fits them better and is more successful for them, fitting their life. So there's so many things like that to take into consideration that a franchise consultant does.
Absolutely.
It's like having your own personal shopper. That knows what you want, and then they go out and it's like, okay, I found these 10 options that fit you, because it's like trying to please you instead of, like you say, someone else. It's like, well, yeah, I want you to take mine, of course.
You'll be wonderful. You'll love it. It'll be amazing for you every single time.
It's like, imagine having somebody on your team that just goes out and goes car shopping for you, and then comes back. It's like, okay, these 3 cars fit your lifestyle, your desires, your hobbies, your job the best. Like, which one do you want? It's like, okay, well, let's go get that one. And all the headache, or so much of the headache, is taken away. And again, it's a free service. It's like,
just speaking to us is always complimentary, and we'll answer whatever questions we can off the hop, and we will find out the answers for the other ones. That's always a fun one for me. We were at a trade show yesterday, and I had a few questions for a few people, and some of them just went, I have no idea. And I'm like, but it's your area of expertise. Like, the answer will always be, I'm not sure. That's a great question. I will find out for you.
Never once got that from anybody.
So never. It's like,
no idea. That's a great question.
Yeah.
And then just sit there and it's like,
it is a great question.
How can we find it out? I don't know. Maybe Google it. Like, they were like, really didn't know, but it was never this, like, there was no passion or excitement there of like, you know what, I'll get back to you with it. I want to find that out, because that's a great question to know. It's like, it is your expertise. And it wasn't, some of them were not like out there outlier questions.
Yeah, should have really had an answer for
really
it.
kind of
somebody, if you guys are thinking it, somebody else's too. So it's difficult to know.
Yeah.
But we digress. We don't want to take up any more of your time than we have to. Thank you guys so much for watching. Kelly, thank you so very much. And please, guys, remember that Kelly has lots of history in this area. So she's probably going to have more answers than we do. But if you come to us, we'll find the answers for sure. Because we're super excited about franchising, but that's not something, I haven't owned a franchise previous to this. Stay tuned. Anyway, thank you so very much. Kelly, thank you.
I'm excited.
Thank you. Everyone out there, thank you. And reach out. We'd love to hear from you. Paragon franchiseconsulting.com. Bye for now.